the Arrows were doing a practice. I was at RAF Gaydon for some reason, I can't remember why. And we were out walking near the runway, and Henry, bless him, introduced himself by flying above our heads about a couple of feet at very fast speed, and frightening us quite a little bit.
Retired Squadron Leader John Galyer's first account of meeting Squadron Leader Henry Prince, who spent a lifetime with the RAF and was part of the founding members who created one of his greatest legacies, the Red Arrows.
The leader is Flight Lieutenant Lee Jones.
Henry was Red 7 on the team in 1964. It was daring stunts like Henry's infamous low-level flying that put them on the map, and 60 years on continue to wow crowds around the world.
He was quite known for his low-level flying, wasn't he?
Very much so, yes. Yeah, he would go lower than most people would think of safely. We were going to Jersey, across the channel to do an air display, and there was a Navy ship in the way, a destroyer, and we flew close to it, and the captain contacted Admiralty, who contacted the Air Ministry, saying that we flew below the mizzenmast, and the next couple of days later, my group the message obviously came back down the system, and my boss, the group captain, had me in for interview and said, "What's this about the mizzenmast?" And I said, "Well, I've looked in the Navy directory, and that boat, the mizzenmast, is actually 210 feet above the sea." He said, "Well, that's all right then, isn't it? Because you cleared to 200 feet. Nowhere near that at all." By the by, isn't it? "Look, there's a boat over there. Let's go and see it. See it." "Yes, okay, Henry. Shouldn't we be a little bit higher?" "No." Great fun. He was my boss, so I mean, he was in charge when we were instructing at RAF Leeming on the jet bombers, and he was my boss in the first instance, but he was also became a very good friend, which is kind of unusual in the Air Force, isn't it? Because ranks do have privileges, and you say sir to them and things like that. But out of uniform, we were chums, yes. Well, we grade pilots every year. You're assessed, and you're below average, average, above average, or exceptional. And Henry was in the exceptional bracket all his life, I think.
We've got some writing up in the corner here. You said that Henry might have actually wrote that?
Well, yes, I think he probably wrote that. He was a pretty boy then.
That really sort of lends into his personality and humour.
Exactly right, yeah.
John got to know Henry after his time in the Reds when he was stationed at RAF Leeming as an instructor. But his display career wasn't quite over, as Henry saw a team that were just getting off the ground, the Geminis, and decided to take them under his wing.
Well, he brought a lot of things that helped, because having been in the air show circuit for a long time, he knew people, knew contacts. And so the 2 years previously to Henry taking over it, the Gemini team had done something like 10 or 15 air shows in the year. My year with him, 2 years with him, I did over 40. Simply because Henry knew people. And would you like us to come? Of course we'd come. Everyone has their own idea about what manoeuvres to do within and inside an aircraft. And he had a better idea of what manoeuvres crowds like to look at, and how to put those things together when you go from a loop into a barrel roll or whatever, and fly past upside down or whatever. He had a better idea of that than the rest of us, because he'd done it, seen it, and got the T-shirt. I'm not quite sure when it started, because I think it was only 4 years before I was on it. And no, it was like everything when it starts with basic things, doesn't it? And Henry moved it up a scale. I'm allowed to tell you a story. We were attending the opening air display for Munster in Germany airfield. The mayor of Munster came up to Henry and said, "Look, we're a bit worried that the air show hasn't been advertised sufficiently for the people of Munster. Would you mind flying over Munster tomorrow morning to advertise the air show? We'll have people out on the streets with loudspeakers." I mean, that was a golden invitation to young Henry, who, anyway, he led us, the four of us. We were in a, you understand, box formation, 4. I was this one here. And we flew over the city, and then we sort of manoeuvred around. And I was obviously concentrating on the rear end of his aircraft because I was quite close to him. And I became aware of trees going past and windows of houses as we flew up the main street, really quite low, 4 of us. And I think that announced the air display to the mayor's liking.
In March, Henry was invited to RAF Waddington to mark the Red Arrow's 60th anniversary. There he met former comrades and the team. In Henry's own words, this is his account of what it was like to be part of the Red Arrows.
I don't think you could better it, really. You know, I mean, if you like flying and you enjoy that, if you enjoy aerobatic flying, then the combination you can't beat. Yeah. You know, yes, anybody who hasn't done it has missed out.
Thanks for watching. For more from Forces News, like and subscribe to our channel.